Hey, I think you've got the wrong band, by the way. We're not famous or anything.
Tom's come prepared.
He's got some pledge for this, hasn't he?
He is.
I've been playing guitar since I was 16, so about 5 years now. More like 15, more like 30.
Waited 33 years for yesterday, you know. 33 years since I've got an album out.
Pretty cool. Feel like a kid on Christmas Day.
Got a week off just to do what's been now termed VEGA week. Which is like the album launch, gigs and the bits and bobs that we're doing.
So this week is for us. We haven't rehearsed. Gigs next week. It's a bit of a risk.
Let's start as we need to go on, come on. Bring them up, come on. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I was born in a little town just outside of Stratford-upon-Avon called Tiddington. First musical memory was when my sister made me go out and buy a couple of singles that she wanted with my birthday money. And it was Haircut 100 and Rocky Sharp and the Replay.
Something new, I size it up, I see it through.
Keep fit. You got to keep fit as a drummer, you know. Yeah. These days, you know, gone are the days of Keith Moon and John Bonham, you know, where they're both dead. But one of the days where you know you just drink and smoke as much as you can. These days, it's a different kettle of fish.
I find my warning shot. Now I give life.
Drumming is like you put it all in. You look for during a song. You're looking for the next break, so say if there's an instrumental break where the drums drop out, you're like, right, I can change a stick or move a cymbal around. You've got like 4 bars to do that.
I have lived every second of my life. I won't forget, so ever die before my time.
We take it in turns with sickies, you know, with our parents. So like, on one of the days, Tom just sat recording all the songs on Sky, because it was just Sky, about 1990, 91 or something. And he's like, when I got back from school, he's like playing all the songs, and when he said, when Jump came on, we just had it on repeat all the time. Just like, get the tennis rackets out and jumping around. Yeah.
But I used to be in a military band when I was younger. I was playing the cymbals, and one of them was, and the other one, the younger one was playing the cymbals, and the older one was playing the drums. And the one who was my age wasn't in it at all. And one Christmas, the guy who was in my year, he got a guitar. So we were all up in his bedroom, he had the guitar. There was the snare drum, you know, like a military snare drum there, and then the younger brother held his cymbal like that, like this. And they were playing guitar, couldn't play for shit, couldn't play at all. And I was there sort of like, guess I'm a singer then.
It's everyone's dream to be in this sort of thing, to be as big as you think you might be able to get to.
Yeah, I remember just watching Van Halen's Jump when I was a young kid and just thought that looks nice to me, you know, and yeah, that's what got me into it. MTV, you know, Boys of the Summer, Don Henley and stuff, and just videos and that. And struggled to learn guitar a bit, and then our kid took up the keyboards just to make it more like a band situation.
I won't forget, so
If we wanted to be famous or make millions, we wouldn't be doing the sort of music we do. Because I think it's like we've been talking all day about being honest with the music and it's being honest with yourself as well. And if we tried to write something that was going to be successful, then it's probably not going to be what we actually want to do. And if we fail, it'd be like, shit, why don't we do what we love anyway in the first place? You could at least fail doing something you really enjoy doing.
I'm a bit heavier in my style, you know, I like metal, black metal, sort of like industrial metal, but I like the 80s rock, soft rock, all sorts of different things. I'm quite open. I've been in like metal bands, indie bands, and this is probably my pleasure is what we're doing now, is my ideal sort of what I want to do when we're doing it.
I've done gigs where we've travelled down to Plymouth from like York, Nottingham, Bolton area, driven from our old band Crier, driven down to Plymouth to do a gig in front of 20 people, you know, and, you know, spending a fortune on getting down there, coming back, and those sort of gigs and those sort of experiences of playing in front of little, you know, little crowds and stuff. That's where you earn your stripes, and that's where you earn your sort of like your qualities to be able to go forward and your strength. It's like you get these people on X Factor, they're thrown from nothing straight into, you know, explosion of media and fame, that once that's taken away from them, they crumble. I've been in numerous bands, but I mean the last band I was in, called the Station Club, when I was with the Twins, we got quite a way, you know, to the point where we were being showcased in front of all different managers and record labels and all these different things, and record labels were putting money into us to go and do a really shit hot demo, which we produced. It was absolutely amazing. And then what they do is they lead you on, they keep you, yeah, it's going to happen, this is happening, and you get the odd phone call, then things stop dying out, and then all of a sudden, nothing.
You remember one of the first songs you ever wrote?
I think it was a song called The Darkness or something. Yeah, literally, yeah. Called Darkness. It's the cheesiest, most horrible song I've ever heard in my life. Yeah. Cringy. Yeah.
What was that about?
There was a lot of two hearts beating as one going on. Yeah. Lonely nights without love. Yeah, yeah. Every cliche in the book. Yeah.
Sounds great.
Formed a band called Sugartown. It was kind of a bit like early busted kind of stuff. Got short hair. We used to have long hair on, so we got it cut short and messy. We nearly got signed. We got like, it's funny because we got Paolo Nutini's manager called Mike Borden, and he wanted to sign us up. And it was all in place. The agreements were there. And at the time, he was a nobody. He was just the top guy at Viking FM, you know. And we thought, we could just get someone better than him. But we should have gone with him because, you know. A lad called Alistair Griffin 10 years ago, and we wrote songs with him, and he had a bit of a drive. He had the same drive and passion as us, and he entered a program called Fame Academy, and he came second. And we wrote a lot of songs with him. He was the third member. We did a third kind
reincarnation
of Sugartown. He was a singer. We played at Westlife and that. It was all, you know, party in the park, 70,000 people.
I mean, you were working at this time, yeah. You were both working still at your job.
No, it was in a bingo hall actually.
Yeah. What were you doing there?
Just on the 20p's, out 12 grannies.
I remember we did this one demo and it was sent to someone who knew someone else who was quite important, and it came back and they said, it's not bad, but the singer needs some lessons. It's like, you know, so I did have some singing lessons from this opera singer. Joined some guys down in London. There was a band called Kick, and we got signed to Iron Maiden's label, Sanctuary. And that's when it started to be serious, but that's also when a lot of the fun went out of it.
In that band, our old singer, he got a bit sort of disillusioned with other things, so it came to a point where he walked out and said, I can't, you know, I don't think he could take, you know, that sort of lifestyle of not knowing anymore, so he went into other things. And it sort of left me and the Twins in a position, and that's the day we met Nick. That big conversation happened with our old singer at the gig where we met Nick last year, you know, and for that to happen, it was like, I remember Tom leaning over to me saying, you know, we can do this with Nick.
We saw Nick there, and we'd already had a word with the guys at Frontiers Records, and said, you know, we're interested in putting a band together. Would you be up for it? And he said, yeah. So I said, you know, well, we're going to approach Nick Workman, who was in Kick, and he said, yeah, go for it, he's a great singer.
posted a thing on the website, left by old band and stage drummer available, blah blah, amazing experience. And I got a phone call from this guy from Bolton, Pete Lauder, and he said, look, we've got a band, do you want to come up and try us? Yeah, come up. So the next few days after that, we got on really well. And he's like, literally, it's like a brotherhood now, you know, he's like the best mates.
Dan's been in most of the bands over the last kind of 7 or 8 years with us. We like what Nick's done in the past, so we kind of had an idea about what we thought would really work with him as well. This sounds a bit arse-licking, but he really was one of our best singers, you know. We always really liked him, you know, as a singer, and thought he was a good songwriter, and, you know, underrated a bit really, we think, and well, I think with the VEGA stuff it'll prove that he's good.
Why I've always wanted to play my own songs and not someone else's, because I don't feel any payoff from singing Living on a Prayer and people singing it back, and I think, well, they're not singing it back because I wrote that song, I did like that. It's because they know it because Bon Jovi did it, you know. But when you're doing your own stuff and people are singing back the words and the songs that you've written, it's like, that's a pretty good feeling. You know? That's all. It's not. Well, no, I suppose it's living a realistic dream rather than living the full-on dream. The first album, Kicked It, was a good album, but then it tried to be modern and do rock, and it failed, where I think VEGA has succeeded. And then we've taken sort of like classic rock and given it a modern tint.
Yeah.
So
we're not trying to do anything else, are we? We're just trying to do what we want to do,
exactly.
what we want to hear.
With VEGA, it was a new band, so it was a blank canvas. We didn't have to try and sound like anyone else. The record company didn't have to get involved and say, well, you need to sound like you did on this album. Whatever we put down was VEGA, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, when I go on stage, I like to put a bit on a show, but it's because I'm stuck at the back and I like people to still see me. You know what I mean? I think everyone likes to see a bit of a charismatic showman as a drummer, because it's something interesting to watch.
All right, what I'm going to try and do is on the end of it, it's a time with your bum, bum, bum.
No, for me, being a band is the guilty pleasure, because it gives you, I think, especially when you go onto a stage, you just like become a different person.
You feel like the ad-libs on that end. As soon as you finish, I'll come in.
One straight hit, yeah.
Then die down. You don't need to.
No, that's fine.
I mean, you have your life, you have your normal life, you sort of things you do day to day, and when the band comes together and you're working towards an end goal, it's probably the thing that brings you the most. What's that?
What's your?
No, I was just telling him about my guilty pleasure. He told me to say Chesney Hawks. I'll say it.
No, what is your guilty pleasure?
Probably you and take that.
Yeah. Yeah. Not porn. You're not guilty about that, really, are you?
No, not really, no.
Please don't ever go into a duo or a comedy act.
Well, tonight will be interesting.